Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of a new series, Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition. Did I pronounce that right? This is also going to be a live stream series. I'm planning on doing this as a somewhat regular intervals, depending on how much we record every time. It'll either be every week, every 2 weeks, or maybe as infrequent as every month. So if you were not able to make it to the recording session of this episode, but want to, in the future, let me know what times, what days, what time zones you would be able to make it, and I will try to do the recording sessions at a time that works the best for the most people. Today we're primarily going to do some character creation and then get into the game a little bit. This is going to be split up more frequently on YouTube, but we'll probably record for an hour or two, which will be 4 episodes or so on YouTube. Which, if we do that, it'll mean a recording episode every 2 weeks. So, to get started, I'm going to leave the music. Guess maybe we'll go down. So how do we start a new game? Here we go. Okay, I've got the manual open for some of the ability scores. I have played Baldur's Gate 2, but I've never played the first one. So I'm using my knowledge from the second one. I said I was going to record about 2 hours is the plan. Maybe less, maybe more. What's I saying? Baldur's Gate 2, I played that, and I'm using my experience on that as kind of a guide here. But I played it when it first came out, so it was a long time ago. So my memory is a little bit fuzzy on some aspects. But we're going to start a new game. We're going to create a new character. Gender will be male. Okay, stream, you get to pick the picture. So I'll go through these and you tell me which one you want. I'm thinking of playing a magic user. I think we can go back and change the picture as we want after we pick our class. That looks freaky. It might be better to pick something and then come back and change it if we pick a class that doesn't look right. Okay, those are all the images. Which one would you like? Should we come back to this? This one? Okay, this one it is. Now then... race? Okay, I'm thinking of being a mage of some type. I was a sorcerer in Baldur's Gate 2, which I like, but I didn't have all of these stuff. I should probably explain. A sorcerer is a magic user that, similar to a mage, but they can't learn as many spells, but they can cast a given level of spells more frequently. So they have a pool of, say, 10 third level casts, but they can only memorize 2 different third level spells, but they could cast as many or any combination of them up to 10. While a mage has to memorize each specific spell at a time. So if it wants to cast 10 third level spells, it needs to memorize each specific spell that it's going to cast. It doesn't have a pool, it just has which spell it memorizes. So let's see. A sorcerer, they can memorize. I don't remember what the third level spells are, so I'm just gonna make a couple up. They can memorize, say, Fireball and whatever the spiderweb thing is. So say they have selected spiderweb and Fireball for their third level spells, then they have a pool that they can cast 10 times, so they can cast 10 third level spells, any combination of those two. While a mage can memorize all of the third level spells, and when they rest, they pick which spells they're going to memorize. So he can memorize a lot of utility spells, or just all combat spells, or any combination of the two. And it allows the mage to be a little bit more utilitarian. They have more options when they're encountering difficult situations, which is what I kind of missed. Once you get to the really high levels, some of the utility spells are quite nice. So as far as races go, we have humans. Humans are not the best for a mage, so I probably won't be doing those. They're better if you want to multi-class, which I do not want to do. The reason I do not want to multi-class is because while there isn't a level limit, there is an experience limit, and you split the experience between every class that you have. And we want to get the highest level mage that we can, because that's where all the cool stuff is. So Elf is somewhat better. They have resistance to charm and sleep, which is quite good. Infravision, so you can see in the dark. +1 to hit armor class 0 with bows and longswords. Being a mage, you're not going to be punching things very much. +1 dexterity is good. That adds to your armor class, and being a mage, you're not going to have any of that to start off with. -1 to constitution, which is not good. Half elf is not really that great. You could just be an elf and get all these bonuses. Half elf doesn't really have anything that is like a elf without all the bonuses, so I don't really see the point. Gnomes, constitution is health points. Gnomes, kin to dwarfs, they're smaller, less rotund than dwarfs, that means round. They like practical jokes, I could live with that. They like gems and jewelry. There are rock gnomes and deep gnomes, which I don't really know anything about that. They have 2 bonus saving throws versus wand, staff, and a wand, and versus spell, with additional bonuses based on constitution. So basically they have bonuses to used items that cast spells, like magic wands. And I don't know, versus spells, this is probably just a general saving throw. They have infravision as well. They have +1 intelligence, very important. Intelligence determines how many spells you get per level of that spell, as well as your percentage chance to learn new spells, and a lore bonus which is in identifying magical items. Wisdom as a mage is not important to us. Halfling is more of a fighter class. I think they would make somewhat good ranged guys. They do have the bonuses that here. They'd probably make good thieves as well. Dwarves, also pretty beefy. And half-orcs, very beefy. So our options are probably going to be either gnome or elf. So what do y'all think? Maybe the gnome would be best. Because we get that +1 int. And you need 19 int to be able to memorize the maximum amount of spells that you can. And that is only achieved by gnomes, I think. Because we are not a priest, wisdom only affects priest. It affects priest kind of in the same way. They get a lore bonus and they get bonus spells. Keep in mind this is a pretty old game. It's like, I think it's 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons, and now there's been 3rd edition, 3.5 edition, 4th edition, and D&D next, so it's been a while. I think oh yes, I probably should. He asked, why does wisdom doesn't give you anything? I think we're going to go with the gnomes. The downside to gnomes is I don't like the way they look, because they're little tiny people. But, I mean, the resistance against sleep and charm is huge, but I want the intelligence. I suppose we can also always hope we get some kind of item that will protect us against charm and sleep. So that's class. We have mage. Why can't we be... That's not good. That is not good at all. This is very bad. We cannot be a standard mage. Let me try something. If we do elf, can we be a standard mage? Yes. Okay, so we're not going to be a gnome. Because then we could only be an illusionist, which is a very limited type of mage. I did not know that, and now I do. Yeah, 2nd edition is pretty hardcore. You can expect to see quite a lot of dying on this. Okay, so our class features are: we may not wear any armor, we may only use dagger, quarterstaff, dart, and sling. None of the weapons we have a bonus with, which were longbow and bow. We may only become proficient one slot in any weapon class. We may not place any slots in any fighting styles. May cast arcane spells. Hit dice is D4. That's how many hit points we have. Maybe some classes can only be used by a half elf. I guess we could check. Oops. Race, half elf. They have opened quite a few things. More of these. I think they get both the human and the mage things they can do. Which I guess that might be a good idea. I think. Whoops, where are we? Are we? Yeah, we did half again. Elf, done. Class. Mage. And these are, I should probably explain, are special mage schools. You get a spell, one additional spell per level, but you may not use another school. So these two, pretty bad. This one is very strange. You get a wild surge, which has some very bad and some very good things, but there's far too many of them that are just terrible. Like, lose 20% of the party's gold. And a number of them are like, target yourself and all that crap. It is random. There's from 0 to 100, and each one of the things has something. Each number has something that happens, and about half of those are bad. So it's a 50-50 chance to screw yourself over, roughly. I haven't actually counted. Okay, mage. Now alignment. Alignment is something kind of important in these games. There's the lawful or chaotic. That's how lawful you are, how strictly you adhere to the laws. Then there's good versus evil, which is self-explanatory, I should think. So, for instance, lawful good is kind of like a paladin. Chaotic good would be kind of a Robin Hood type guy, where they ignore the laws but they still do good stuff. Then there's like pure evil is chaotic evil, and lawful evil is, I don't know, a lawyer. That would be lawful evil, something like that. In the way this game is implemented, every time you do a quest, your alignment's going to change a little bit depending on the quest. Yeah, I suppose chaotic good is a vigilante. Argumentatively, I suppose. So your alignment changes on a quest, so it's kind of difficult to be evil in this game because all the side quests are to be good. You will, as you do side quests, your alignment's going to be pushed out of evil. And I think when your alignment changes, something happens. I don't know what it is, but it says there will be severe consequences. So you want to do something that will be able to stick to. So probably either neutral or good. And I kind of want to stay on the chaotic side. So either neutral or chaotic good, neutral or chaotic neutral. True neutral or chaotic neutral, I should say. So of those four, neutral good, chaotic good, true neutral, chaotic neutral, which ones would you like me to be? I should also mention that the alignment, you get a bonus to your reputation with dealing with NPCs at the start of the game. You will get reputation later as you do quests and stuff, but it's a little bit of a boost when you start. Chaotic good, be a vigilante, okay? I can do chaotic good. Though I may, chaotic neutral means I could just randomly kill people if I want to. But we can do chaotic good. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, here's what it says. They're strong individuals marked by a streak of kindness and benevolence. They believe in all virtues of goodness and right, but they have little use for laws and regulations. They have no use for people who try to push folks around and tell them what to do. Their actions are guided by their own moral compass, which, although good, may not always be in perfect alignment with the rest of society. A brave frontiersman forever moving on as settlers follow in his wake is an example of a chaotic good character. Just to say about chaotic neutral. Chaotic neutral characters believe that there is no order to anything, including their own actions. With this as a guiding principle, they tend to follow whatever whim strikes them at the moment. Good and evil are irrelevant when making a decision. Chaotic neutral characters are extremely difficult to deal with. Such characters have been known to cheerfully and for no apparent purpose gamble away everything they have on the roll of a single die. They are almost totally unreliable. In fact, the only reliable thing about them is that they cannot be relied upon. This alignment is perhaps the most difficult to play. Lunatics and madmen tend towards the chaotic neutral behavior. That's kind of funny. No random killing can be neutral if then you do something good. See, that's how it works. You stab somebody and then you heal them. That way you're neutral. Okay. Abilities. Ah, yes. We're going to start with the mental ones, because that's what screen I have it open on. Okay, so we want at least 9, or we want the maximum amount of intelligence we can get. Oh wait, let's re-roll this. The way this works is, based on 2nd edition, you have the amount of ability points come from some die rolls, which has been changed in newer versions, but it's a bit random, and you can, in this game, re-roll it. I'm not sure how it works if you're doing pen and paper. We want to get a nice good roll. I don't know what the maximum is, but I know you can get into like the mid-80s. Ooh, should have saved that. Let's store that. I want another 85, which may be the maximum actually. 82, 83, 87, yeah, we'll keep that. 87 it is. Okay. The rolls also affect this stuff, but you can change them to whatever you want. So we're going to take some points from strength and just a whole bunch of other stuff, and then we'll come back. Okay, so intelligence, we want that as high as it'll go. Remember, we need 19, but there are ways to raise intelligence in the game if you find like skill point books or something like that. Now the wisdom is a dump stat, so as long as we have 11 or higher, we will not have any negative effects. If we have anything lower, we will have a negative 10 lore bonus. So we'll keep it at 11 and then drop it down all the way if we want to later. Okay, charisma. From 8 until 12 there is no change, but every point after that you get a +1 to reaction, which is how NCPs react to you. So we're going to keep this at very low, 8, so it's already at 8. I think that's as low as it can go, yeah. That way we have no negatives. Let's see, let me switch to new page on the documentation. Give me a second. Okay, now then. Strength. That anywhere from 8 until 15 gives you no change in anything but how much weight you can carry. So we can have a strength as low as 8. And dexterity, we want high dexterity. Oh crap, I messed up the chat, I can't read it. Yes, carry weight is good, but we will have other people in our party eventually. Dexterity, we want really high dexterity because dexterity gives you armor class. And we also get a bonus to dexterity. 19 dexterity will give us the same armor class as 18, but it will give us an extra bonus point to ranged attacks with physical weapons. But I think we're just going to go for 18. Constitution is obviously health points. We can have a constitution as high as we want. 17 will give us +2. So does 16. So all the way up from 16 to anything higher for our class is going to be the same bonus in Constitution. So anything above 16 will be wasteful. Wisdom we've already said we don't care about. We could add a couple points of strength, a couple points of charisma for dealing with NPCs, some wisdom for some lore bonus. Strength will also give us a damage advantage once we hit 16. And a 2-hit advantage once we hit 17. But we could go all the way up to 16. Let me check on the thing again. The mental scores. Okay, we would need a constitution of our charisma 13 to get bonuses. I think we'll go with crap, I did it again. Sorry, the window keeps covering up the chat screen. Okay, I think this is what we're going to go with. Will be a mage who kind of works out a little bit, you know. Doesn't really know much about the world, isn't overly charismatic, but he can branch press, you know. A small village. Small villager. Which is going to be important because early class mages are extremely squishy. Because the beginning level spells suck. So, done. Skills. We can be dagger, quarterstaff, dart, or sling. So, keeping in mind that we're an elf, and we can only pick one of these throughout the whole entire game, which should we pick? We have the dagger, the classic mage weapon of the quarterstaff. We can only put 1 point into these, I believe. Yeah, only 1 point. So any of this extra stuff is ignored. This is just which weapon we can use. Okay. Without any penalties. So the classic quarterstaff. Then we have a dart, which is not something we're going to use. So let's just forget that we have the dart, because those require lots of ammo. And we have the sling, which, you know, if we fight facing giants or anything, then Goliath, we could take them out. And they throw stones, which in this game they're called bullets. So what is your choices? Time to pull the audience. Quarterstaff it is. Very classic mage weapon. And also if we get tired we can lean on it. Ooh. So now then we can pick some starting spells. We have armor, which is probably good. Blindness. Doesn't matter if anyone else is talking. I only need one person. Burning hands is also good. I think all of these are level 1. Level 1. Yeah, okay, so all these are level 1 spells. And for vision, we don't need that because we already have it. Okay, I'll just start at the beginning. Armor. Magical field armor. So it gives us armor as if it was scale mail. And it also accumulates with our dexterity bonus. Can we... Okay, there's nothing more there. Blindness. Temporary blinds the target. And he receives a -4 penalty. I'm hoping eventually more people will come. Or talk. There are more people in the audience, it's just you're the only one talking. Burning Hands. This is a good area, short area effect clonal attack. Duration instant. It sends a fan forth, fan-like sheet of flames. His thumbs must touch each other, and fingers must be spread. The flame is 5 foot in length and horizontal arc of 120 degrees in front of the wizard. So it's 1d3 damage, plus 2 points for each level of the caster, to a maximum of 130d3 plus 20. And a saving throw, you get 1/2 damage. Is there a blink spell? I think there is something similar to it, but I don't think it's a first level spell. Charm Person, which is good. You can cast it upon humanoid creatures. There's a list here: brownies, dryads, dwarves, elves, gnolls, gnomes, goblins, half-elves, half-elves, half-orcs, hobgoblins, humans, kobolds, lizardmen, nixies, orcs, pixies, sprites, troglodytes, and others. Saving throw to negate. And they get a +3 modifier to their saving throw. Well, let's go through all of them first before we start picking them, because we can only pick 2. Oh, and we can't hurt the person charmed. Chill Touch, which is pretty much the same thing as... No, it's not. I think this is a touch spell, though. Energy attacks. And it cannot... Oh, this is a necromancy spell, okay. Cannot affect constructs such as non-living creatures, golems, undead, etc. And we also have to make a successful melee attack, which makes this not a good spell. Strength bonus apply, though. It also debuffs them, in addition to do 1d8 damage. Chromatic Orb. 2 foot diameter sphere that appear in the caster's hand when throw the sphere heads unerringly to the target. The effect target varies with the level of the caster. Each orb will deal damage to the target against which there is no save. And an effect against which the target must save versus the spell with the 6 bonus. So first level we do 1d4 damage and they blind the target if they fail to save. 1d4 damage and inflicts pain. A -1 penalty. That's actually really good. 1d6 and burns the victim for an additional 1d8 damage. 1d6 and blinds the target for 1 turn. 1d8 and stuns the target for 3 rounds. Weakness. Paralyzed for 2 turns. That's quite good. This is Chromatic Orb. 1d12. So this is a good spell that it scales with your level. So again, the victim saves versus the spell with a +6 bonus, but no save versus the damage. no, it's not a random effect. This is the level of the caster here. And this is the effect based on what level you are. So the spell gets stronger with time, which most spells do not. Well, a number of spells do not, I should say. Now then, color spray. Fan-shaped spray of colors. 1d6 to creatures within the area are effective in order of increasing distance from the wizard. All creatures in the area affect that have 4 hit dice or less must make a successful saving throw or be rendered unconscious for 5 rounds. So it's a 9-degree arc that's 50 foot. Which one, the chromatic orb or the color spray? Okay. We're supposed to definitely pick that one. Find familiar. Familiars are typical small creatures. It's like a witch's cat is a familiar. And they can fly. It only may be cast by the protagonist. Creature is always more intelligent than others of the type, particularly 2 or 3 points. We have the emphatic link. Caster receives half the familiar's total hit points rounded down as a bonus hit points. That means we get more hit points. The caster must take care to treat his familiar well. For the familiar should die, the caster loses the bonus hit points and half the familiar's hit points. Again, it's damage. Also, when a familiar dies, the caster loses 1 point of constitution permanently. That's pretty harsh. Friends, this is a... Okay, it costs the caster to temporarily gain 6 points of charisma. Which, given our charisma level of 8, 1, 2, that would give us a +4 bonus. Find familiar was the permanent one. Yes, permanently. And if I remember right, what type of familiar you get depends on your alignment. Grease. It is a 30 foot by 30 foot area. And it lasts 3 rounds plus 1 round per level. It's a slippery thing. Things in it must save versus the spell are slip and slide unable to move effectively. That successfully save can move slowly for the rest of the round, but will need to save versus the spell again the following round. Those who remain in the area are allowed a saving throw each round until they escape the area. So basically, it can either keep people from moving or make them move slower if they fail their saving throw. Or if they succeed their saving throw, they still move slowly. But you will be caught at the edge of it. Range is 10 yards, 30 foot, 10 foot. I don't know why they use different measurements there. Then there is Identify, which allows you to identify magical items. Infravision, which we've already said we don't need. Lorok's Minor Drain. Drains the life form from a target and adds it to its own. A life tap spell. Target creature suffers 4 damage while the main engages 4 hit points. And if he goes over his maximum hit points, it only lasts 1 turn. Then there's a Magic Missile, the ever popular spell. They are useful when they're powerful, but that one is not particularly powerful. Life taps are. Magic Missile spells, one of the most popular first level spells, create up to 5 magical missiles of magical energy that dart from the wizard's fingertail and unerringly strike the target, which must be a creature of some sort. Each missile inflicts 1d4 plus 1 damage. For every 2 extra levels of experience, the wizard gains an additional missile. Yes, 2 at 3rd level, 3 at 5th level, 4 at 7th level, and up to 5 total at 9th level. And the important thing to memorize about this is it does not miss. Ever. And it also does, which is quite a good thing for a number of reasons. I have no idea how to pronounce that last word. Nahal's reckless whatever. And we can't use this for some reason. It's grayed out. Oh, this is Wild Mage. Okay, so that's why we can't use it. Protection from evil, which is a armor bonus, kind of. You get, the enemy gets a -2 to attack, and we get +2 with saving throws and attacks if it's against an evil person. Protection from petrification, which is a protection spell from petrification. Reflected image. This is like mirror image, but a weaker version of it. It acts as a decoy. So it gives the attackers a 50% chance to hit the imaginary image. At 50% chance that'll attack the caster. The image will disappear with a successful cast of dispel magic or when the spell's duration expires. 3 rounds plus 1 round per level. Shield barrier in front of the building. It gives you 4 armor class against melee weapons and 2 against missile weapons. And immunity from the spell magic missile. And last, a fixed duration of 5 turns. Shocking Grasp, which I believe is a touch spell. Yeah, touch a spell. So that means we have to make a melee attack to actually touch the creature. And it does 1d8 points of damage plus 1 per level of the caster to the creature touched. Additionally, Grasp itself does 1d2 fist damage, strength bosses apply. The creature has 1 round per level to touch the target. I did not know that. Basically, the bad thing about touch spells is you have to actually touch the creature, and being a caster, we're not really good at punching things. Sleep, the thing that the elves are immune to. Causes a comatose slumber to come upon one or more creatures, other than undead or certain other creatures that are immune to it. All creatures to be affected by sleep must be within 30 foot of each other. Creatures in the area must make a saving throw with a -3 penalty or fall asleep. Monsters with 4 plus 3 hit dice, 4 hit dice plus 3 hit points, or more are ineffective, so it only affects weaker things. The center of the area effect is determined by the caster. Magically sleeping opponents can be attacked with substantial bonuses. The last one. Whew. Spook. And we can scare somebody by going boo. Turns and flees. And they suffer a saving throw penalty. And they must be at least moderately intelligent to be afraid. Undead are completely unaffected. So we already have Chromatic Orb. I think I'm probably going to go with Magic Missile, just because it's the classic spell. Familiar is kind of tempting, but I'm guessing we'll probably pick that spell up somewhere later. Done. Okay. Okay, which spells we have memorized? I think we'll probably go with Magic Missile. Yep, I went with magic missile. They suggested either magic missile or shield. Armor would probably be better because I think it lasts longer than shield. Okay, appearance. Thought we already did that. Okay. I'll try to make him look like the image. Is that okay? He's kind of browny, isn't he? His skin is purpley. Is purpley an option? Yeah, that kind of looks like the image as best I can get. Okay. Now we pick a voice.
Death to you all! Your life ends here.
Time for a bit of the rough and tumble.
You got this coming! Let's give them a right thrashing.
Get over here.
Death to you all! Your life ends here.
What would be chaotic
Time
good?
for a bit of the rough and tumble.
Maybe that one? That one kind of sounds Robin Hoody to me. Okay. Name. That is her name. I think we will end the first YouTube episode here, though. Because it's probably been about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So, like if you like, subscribe if you're not. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time where we will continue this.